this. Hello, people. Another beautiful day. Yep. Hope your five senses work. Hope your health and your strength is good or excellent. What? What's up, Steam Deck fans? You know the Steam Deck tribe, Steam Deck Nation, Steam Deck Universe, Steam Deck World, Steam Deck Legion. What's good? Steam Deck Mob. What's happening? Steam Deck Swaps up. And you Steam Deck nerds, geeks, and freaks, and you investigators, what's happening? Alright, what I got for you? Okay, so I got this little article from Phoronix. It says here, tweaking SteamOS for better Steam Deck performance. So basically, what they did was, they took SteamOS 3.4, right? And then let's say you take Cyberpunk, right? Run it on SteamOS 3.4. See if the performance improve, it increases, it decreases, or the battery increases or decreases, right? Or the battery drains fast or slow. So they take SteamOS 3.4, then they do the same thing with SteamOS 3.5 in preview, right? And then they see if the performance improve, increase, decrease. Does the battery drain slower or fast, right? But then now they do it again with SteamOS 3.5 in preview plus the tweaks, and then they run the same test and see if the performance increases, decreases, or did the battery stay the same, or did it drain fast or drain slow. So yeah, and see how much at what percentage and how much hours do you have to play. So that's what this article is about. Listen to this. It says here, a Phoronix reader recently published a guide that, at its heart, is a set of commands aimed at boosting performance of the SteamOS on the AMD GPU powered Steam Deck. Here are some benchmarks showing the performance impact from these changes on the SteamOS 3.5 preview release. It says the set changes includes settings, the Steam Deck Van Gogh APU performance governor, adjusting the MGLRU settings, adjusting the meme lock values, setting the I/O as scheduler to Kyber, and silence the watchdog timer, avoiding extra operations on file, accessing time, and then it says seize the blog post for all the details and instructions. It says, which I will leave in the description box. It says here, for my recent SteamOS versus SteamOS 3.5 preview benchmark, I repeated the SteamOS 3.5 preview run while applying these optimization and recommended. No other changes were made to the Steam Deck besides making noted changes and then repeating the benchmark. And okay, so got 3 pages here. And whoops, 2. Okay, page 2. Okay, next page. It says here, it shows Counter-Strike Global Offensive, SteamOS 3.4 versus 3.5 preview, and then 3.5 preview plus tweaks. And then it shows 105 and 128, 105.88 for 3.4, 128.37 for 3.5 preview, and then 131.14 with 3.5 preview plus tweaks. And it's the same for Global Offensive again, but it says in the case of Counter-Strike Global Offensive, it helped raises the frame rate for a couple of FPS on the Steam Deck, but not as not as nearly as significant as the upgrade from SteamOS 3.4. And then it shows Formula 1 22 with 3.4, SteamOS 3.4 90, and then with 3.5 preview 91, and then with SteamOS 3.5 preview plus tweaks 91 again. And then they do it for the graphics resolution, and same, and then on medium settings it's like 82, 83, 84. For Hitman, 55, 55, 5512, 5505, 5473. And for Cyberpunk, it's 44.70, 44.75, 45.34. With SteamOS 3.4, it's 4470. SteamOS 3.5 is 45.75, and then with SteamOS 3.5 preview plus tweaks is 45.34. And then it says here in other tests, like Cyberpunk, Hitman 3, and Formula 1, there didn't end up being any real changes in performance with these tweaks. It says here, for very CPU bound workload, not too demanding on the GPU, the tweaks like switch the performance governor did help in cases like on Vanquish open source first person shooter to achieve higher frame rates. And then next page, and then it shows Xtonic. Xtonic is like 196.79, 251.63, 261.34. And it says here, Xtonic was another lightweight game that did benefit from these published tweaks from SteamOS/Steam Deck. And it shows Blender, Indigo, and then it says here, close this up real quick. It says here, outside of game testing on the Steam Deck, these tweaks did help SteamOS 3.5 preview recover from some of the performance regression previously noted. In relation to SteamOS 3.4, with these tweaks, the performance in some of the demanding CPU benchmarks were aligned to their higher performance seen back on SteamOS 3.4 stable. And then it says here, see this article for more details on these unofficial SteamOS tweaks if trying to maximize your Steam Deck performance. Depending on the game/software you mostly enjoy, for some areas these tweaks prove to be worthwhile. And let's see here, we got 3 comments. What do we got? Oops. 3 comments. And then it says here, okay, that's for Ronix, that's the administrator. 3 comments. One person say change the governor to performance is going to have battery drain implication. Performance just locked the CPU to the highest frequency the hardware configuration allows without allowing it scale down when the system load declines. They always hit me with this pop-up. Decline, so the battery is going to drain faster. The benchmark results suggest the configuration change is a dubious performance improvement. Overall, if the battery is actually drained faster, as would be suggested by the governor documentation. Then another person here says, I love these articles where you see big tweak guides put to the test. I completely agree with Stormcrow that the governor has multiple objectives in addition to performance. On battery life and fan activity are among them. Kyber is an awesome choice. I have been doing that on all my Linux install. I didn't see any notes on swap other MGLRU nor anything on changing UMA buffer size, but perhaps those default Steam Deck settings are optimal for its typical use case. And it says except MGLRU being off. And then another person here says, so here's the magical script. And he shows the script. And then he says, running /user bin CPU power frequencies space set space G performance, which forces the maximum performance governor CPU, which may negatively affect battery life and game performance, since the TDP budget share is between CPU and GPU. Enabling these kernel options mitigation off no watchdog NMI _watchdog equals 0. Of course, which only mitigates equal off, is important. Zen 2 has been quite heavy performance losses due to CPU vulnerability. So I wonder, excuse me. So I wonder if that's the option which unlock extra performance in no no what's the contrast, as long as the only application that you run is Steam. Turning multi-gen LRU is applicable probably only for RAM constrained scenarios. It says Michael could probably just run PTS with mitigation equal off and any of his Zen 2 system and check performance benefits. Well, look, when it comes to this, I mean, you're trying to get the best performance out of the Steam Deck. It's good to run, do a little experiment to see what you can get and what you cannot get, and then it's good to see, run different tests on different versions of Steam OS and see, where the performance lies, where it increases, where it decreases, where the battery is affected, or where it affected and don't affect it, and then write your results. But other than that, this is just an experiment, and it doesn't make the Steam Deck look bad or anything. It's just showing what you can't get away with, and what you can get away with, and that's just the whole point of this experiment. But other than that, the Steam Deck is a solid handheld, and it's doing its thing. So these guys just run tests on games to see, okay, if I do this, what happens? If I do that, what happens? What's the upside? What's the downside? What's the pros and what's the cons? What's the pluses and what's the minus? That's all they're doing. So these tests, this is just for people, who are tech savvy and who love to do this type of thing, and then they just have some fun with it, and then see the improvement. But does it make the Steam Deck look bad in any way? No. It just show the strengths and weakness, and of what games, when you run a game, what the outcome is going to be. So for what it's built, for what it's built for, it can do. So if you, it's kind of like when you overclock. It's kind of like when you overclock on a desktop, and you're trying to see, okay, what's the upside of me overclocking this? What's the downside? Does it increase things? Does it decrease? That's what the same thing that you're doing on a desktop. It's the same thing that you're doing on the Steam Deck. That's all you're doing. Same thing. So yeah, the Steam Deck is a computer. It's just in handheld form. So yeah. You just seen how far. You're just running this test just to see what the Steam Deck can handle and what it can't handle, and that's it in a nutshell. But other than that, this is a good little experiment, So these are just tech guys who love this type of stuff, who've been doing this since day one, So, and they get to talk about it, and of course, the developers, they're listening, to see what people are saying, and they'll try to make improvements within the next update or so. So yeah, but other than that, yeah, good little experiment, Steam Deck just move right along, man. Moving right along. Yep. Good little experiment, right? Good little experiment. That's all I'm gonna say on that. But anyway, let me know your thoughts and opinion on it. But other than that, man, it was a good little article. It just shows you how good this little handheld really is. That's what it shows you. It shows you how good this handheld really is. And it's working. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Nice talking to you people again. Chris, still Star Wars and Star Trek thing.